Listen to the radio, Harry and Edna's Wireless Show. You heard it from the Three Bells.
What-o, Harry?
What-o, Edna, and welcome. It's Harry and Edna on the wireless. And this is the show in a week when I became the elusive Dr. Beeching.
And I went and had a little bit of culture with Noel Coward.
I thought you could ask me what did I do to become Dr. Beeching. Study many years at medical school?
Harry, what did you do to align yourself with Dr. Beeching this weekend?
That's because I'm fantastic at medical matters, as the children well know, as they like watching these television programmes where they cut people up, and I'm perfect at that.
I thought you were talking about a different Dr. Beeching. Is that right?
I am, actually, because I can't stand blood. I'm not very good with blood. There was a chap called Dr. Beeching in the 1960s who he wrote a report for the government of the day, and he said they should get rid of 2/3 of all the British railways, and they were all pulled up. So we have a railway that's a fraction of the size as it was in the 1960s. And I became Dr. Beeching because previous years my son asked for a garden railway, which after struggling hard to do, he dramatically lost interest when it got to be the hard work bit, and it sat out there in the wind and the snow, and in the end I decided it was time to put the garden furniture out there. So you can call me Dr. Beeching.
Yes, we can, but do you know, I'm not too heartbroken personally, because, hey, I've got my patio back again, and we've got some track and trains, but they did play with it. Don't be too hard on them. Well, the youngest one played with it.
It wasn't his. But he did play with it. He was the only one that showed any interest in it. I feel quite sad, really. I feel like I should really think it's either the model railway or bust.
What-ho?
Me and my good chum Claire, what-o Claire, went and had a girly vintage weekend in London, and we fancied a little bit of something in the West End. So we went along to see a play called Mrs. Henderson Presents. Nearly forgot then, but it was at the Noel Coward Theatre.
It was that good you forgot the name.
It was that good. I was a bit distracted by a little bit of nudity that was going on in the play, but it was fantastic.
Wobbly bits.
Yes, of both sexes, which was a bit of a surprise, but go on.
I was just going to say that we talked to you mentioned this to our daughter, and she was horrified that you went to see pornography on stage.
Well, it wasn't pornography. It was a play, a West End play, and it was brilliant.
Tableaus.
It was all about. It was set in the 1930s, late 30s, and it was about a lady called Mrs. Henderson trying to save the Windmill Theatre, and as it turns out, that was the only theatre that continued to run all throughout the Blitz, all throughout World War II. So it was one of the few theatres that stayed open right through the war and all the Blitz and the bombing. And it was a fantastic play, and it was lovely because it was in the Noel Coward Theatre, which is a nice old theatre. And wherever you went, there was lots of pictures of the great man himself with various ladies by his side and famous people, and sort of depicting all the different plays that he's either written or starred in. So yeah, bit of culture at the weekend. It's fantastic. If you ever get to go, I would highly recommend it. And it's not for all the wobbly bits. It's because it's a fantastic play.
You see, this is where I'm getting confused, you see. It's the only theatre that's open in London, yet they're showing wobbly bits. So I'm doing a spoiler alert, but why do they have wobbly bits in the Blitz?
Well, they don't have wobbly bits. To try and save the theatre, she had to come up with a way of trying to bring the crowds back to the theatres again. And one of them was to introduce a little bit of nudity into theatre. But of course, in those days, it wasn't acceptable. You absolutely couldn't bear any naked flesh in public, let alone sort of a theatre. And so she fought quite hard, and she came up with a way of showing flesh. But it was that so long as it didn't wobble was the stipulation from the ministry, and it was that she was allowed to recreate works of art in real life on stage, but they were called tableaus. So it was very, very arty, but it was a way of her kind of getting a little bit of nudity into the theatre.
I'm still a bit amazed, actually, that I was saying about we're playing, all our music has a certain wartime theme, and I thought you were going to tell us about our guest who's next door, but instead, no, you decided to talk about wobbly bits.
Who's our guest next door? Of course, it's Matt from the 40s, who's coming up next. But why don't we have...
Sorry, from the 40s. He's 40 or he's what?
No, he is from Festival of the 40s.
Festival of the 40s, the fantastic weekend experience.
Yes, that's the one. And I'll be talking to Matt and he'll be telling us more about it in a few minutes.
What ho?
We are joined by Matt Page, and he's here to talk about his event, Festival of the 40s, which is a World War II show on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of July this year. So welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you very much. First of all, thanks for inviting me down to say a few words. You want to know all about a Festival of the 40s? That's what I'm here for, and that's what I will tell you all about. Right, then, starting off, this now goes, I think we're in year 4 now. We started in 2012. The first year, we managed to lose, or I managed to lose 15,000. It was that bad year, all the rain. It's developed, I think, along with everybody else that's involved with me, it's now developed into the biggest or the fastest growing independent 1940s event in the UK. What have we got to offer which is different this year? Loads of stuff, actually. On the Friday, the first time ever, I don't think it's ever been done on a 1940s event before, we are going to try and present a military collectors auction, which is basically dedicated to reenactors. So if they've got all their old stuff they want to sell, they can put it all in a bag, bring it to us. Traders as well, if they want to get rid of their old bit of camo or the old gun or something they got hid up, bring it down to us. There's no commission to be paid. It's just a straightforward entry fee of £5, I do believe. And that gets you 4 lots or maybe 5 lots, I think, with your registration. And away you go. Sell everything and walk away with all the money.
Before we really get into the kind of the depths of the festival, what made you start?
Really, it all started years ago. We used to help 1 or 2 people on 1940s events. It all stems from the fact, to be honest with you, my daytime job, I work for the railway, for Virgin Trains. Richard Branson, if you heard that, can you pay me a present? Right. But I used to be on the revenue protection side. And this is straight up. We went through the train one day on a Sunday afternoon. And it was the first day when they brought out the advance tickets when you had to go on your nominated train. And them days used to get a lot of servicemen going to do Darlington from London. I came across this ticket on the guy. He sat in the vestibule. I said to him, you need to pay some more money. You could tell him with his black bag and with his short haircut, he was in the forces. He said, no problem. He went to get his, he said, just get my credit card. He lifted his trouser leg up and it was gone. He had no leg. Never felt so guilty in my life. I picked him up from there. We moved him up to first class. We gave him a free lunch and that on the way home on the weekend, going back to Darlow. And that's what basically started it. And we've gone forward from there, really. We believe strongly an event, current armed forces personnel and their immediate families should not have to pay. They do it in America, and it's a big thing in America. I don't know of any other 1940s stroke military event that does it. We do. We don't believe in charging children under 12. Children under 12 are your reenactors of tomorrow. In some parts of the country, they have took World War II out the curriculum. One day I'm going to get to say that right. We did say that earlier on. And we believe it should be kept in. The reenactors, the guys that do live in history, they do it, they spend a lot of money doing it, as we both know. Whether it be from the home front, looking for Grandad's old demob suit and Granny's old penny dress, down to an original 1940s or 1941 gun. They pay a lot of money and they believe in what they do. And if you talk to them and you get to know them, they believe in keeping that part of our history alive. And that's what I'm trying to do, really. With a few stalls alongside and some great entertainment to make it all go well.
What ho?
How has the event grown from when you first started it? Has it grown? Is there something that you've got to try and add in each year to make it bigger and better or different?
It's grown beyond all belief. The first time we done it in 2012, we just lost, or I personally lost a lot of money, but It just rained. It was that bad summer, it just rained. So the second year we moved to another site. It grew. The groups grew. I think we started off originally with 20 groups. Then, because of our beliefs of the armed forces and everything else, more groups came, up to 25. Last year, we got up to 32. This year, we're already up to 43. And the closing date's in June. And we've still got space for any more if you're British. We've got a lot of Germans and a lot of Americans. Home front this year is just great. And people, they come back. I think you're going to get one or two that drop out, which you have done. You can't please everybody. And one or two have dropped out. But there's new ones come back, and they come back year on year on year. On the side of the public, we have not had, in the 4 years, one member of the public who's come for the weekend that has not come the following year and year after. So we're on the right way. We believe in giving good value for money. I mean, I think it's £7 this year to get in all day. It's £1 to park your car, which goes to the local Sea Cadets. We don't touch none of that. We don't charge none of the military charities for stalls. We support them every way we can. We don't. There's local police that want to display the community, things like that. We try to involve everybody. I would like to build it up to the days of the country show, because that seems to be dying. I would love to have, because we've gone to this new venue in Fenland, I would love to have Auntie Mary turn up with her cake and put it on display against Auntie Jane. And somebody come in and judge it and give them a prize. I would love to do that. I would love to do the old big vegetable display. Hopefully, because we've gone into a more country event field and in a rural location, with the new farm machinery displays coming in, hopefully we can build on that and bring the community more into it, you know. Because as much as it's for the general public, you need the local community to be a part of it.
What sort of reaction do you get from the general public?
Positive reaction, without a doubt. When you see the young children and their faces, and we try to, every group that comes to us, we try to get them, and they all, rather, I should say, they all do. They all take part and involve a family. Now, if you see the young kids when they got there and they're looking at the guns and everything else, right down to an old veteran coming along in his wheelchair that's sitting there and he's talking about his memories from when he was in the war, and he said, I used to use a gun like that. You know, a nice little tear in the eye. Well, nice little tear, is that the right word? A tear in the eye. It's great. They sit there, and then the actual living history guys will go up to them and ask them if they can learn. They learn off of each other. Yeah. That's an amazing thing about it. It's they do. The guys that are actually doing the living history learn off a veteran, and the veterans are so good and quite willing to pass their knowledge on. You know, it's a big part of their lives in the war, as we all know. Yeah. You know, and there were some sad times, but also when you listen to them, there were some good times.
Do you get a lot of people reminiscing as well, sharing their stories with their grandchildren? I'm just thinking sometimes when you see living history displays, especially home front, they can identify with something, and then stories come out that might not have come out for years. It's just a certain trigger of an item or a piece of clothing.
Yeah, in some respects we do. So much so, what you say about the home front. This year we've managed to get, I think it's 4 home front displays. We've managed to get the police, the law at war, they're coming to us this year. We've managed to get 3 Dad's Army groups. I think it's the Hertfordshire, very good. The Leicester Home Guard, and also Northampton Home Guard. We've also got some fire engines coming in, 1940s fire engines and vehicles. And it's true what you say, yeah, you can do that. And it's nice when you see Gran saying, Granny used to use one of those, you know. And then the thing that does stick out, I remember it last year, there was somebody on the home front display, and I think she was doing a washerboard. And she said Granny used to do one of those, and the lady brought it out of the display, put the washerboard on the floor, and the gran was there showing the grandchild how to do it. Now, that says it all.
What ho!
This is Harry and Edna on the wireless, coming to you by the miracle of streaming, podcast, internet radio, FM radio, and a bit of tin with a bit of strings either side of it. You know, a couple of tins and a bit of taut string. Yes, we come to you however we can here on Harry and Edna on the wireless. And if you're enjoying the show, you know you can hear it again and again and again and again, as in its entirety. Entirety? In its entirety, I think you were trying to say. I was trying to be like Noel Coward and come out with some great words, but my lips all got a bit confused. I forgot what I was going to say, but if you go to harryandedna.co.uk and click on the tab that says wireless, you can find out how to listen to the show. And there's many different types of ways you can hear the show and many different types of shows. The entire back catalogue's there, so you can pick away. If you listen to the streaming service, that's just how we intended those shows to be, all in their entirety. If you go to the podcast, due to licensing reasons, they are purely just the speech content. So if you want to hear me say entirety over and over again, that's the way to do it, and you can actually download those. And of course, we're on radio, so have a listen to us, harryandedna.co.uk. Click on the tab that says wireless, and you can find out when and where we are broadcasting. Earlier, young Edna got a bit confused with she got a bit obsessed with wobbly bits and tableaus at the Noel Coward Theatre, which is rather fitting.
What ho?
Because we've got a Noel Coward song now, and it is.
It is, Can You Please Oblige Us with a Bren Gun?
My notes don't say that.
What do they say then?
It says, could you?
Oh, can you, could you? It's just, different tense, that's all, but the same song.
Noel would be so chuffed.
What ho?
So living history is not the only thing that's at the festival, of course. We must talk about, you've got a vintage and military market.
Military vehicles, they draw them in. Hopefully we can get up to the days when we actually do make a lot of money, when we can bring the big tanks in. I think there might be one or two turn up this year. But that's only down to the collectors that have decided to help us out that way. But yeah, they come in, and it's, would you say 1940s Top Gear? Yeah. Would you say that? Yeah, and it's amazing when you sit there and, there's 1940s petrolhead versus XR3 petrolhead. Do you know what I mean? And it's good how they all come together. But yeah, they come in for that, and they love it. I should say more. It's not challenging as such, but it's when you see, there's two types of military vehicle collector. There's the guy that'll do the bit from start to finish, and every little bit is rubbed down. And then there's the guy who's got the money that'll say, I'll be in a military collector, go out and buy it, ship it out, have it done, and bring it back. Yeah. The way I look at it personally is both ways are keeping history alive. One don't sometimes agree with the other. So when we send the judges round, we always do like a two-part thing. We do for like the people who have had it done and the guys that do it. Otherwise, you'd always tend to favour the guys that done it from start to finish. But no, and it's great. And what we're trying to do this year is trying to do a bit of a parade through the town. We have managed to get a vintage bus this year that's going to, because we're expanding in such, we've gone like to the local railway station. They have agreed to turn one platform which they've been given over to 1940s. That'll be all 1940s. So the reenactment groups are welcome to go down there, do photo shoots. We've got guest speakers going in there to do talks on different parts of the war through certain times of the day. And then we've got the bus service which will be running up to the site, which is completely free. You just jump on it and away you go. I'll never make no money.
And talk about money. You need a few pounds, I suspect, to go and visit the vintage and military market. Is that an area where you can spend all day shopping around, or can you turn up to this festival and I guess if you get in the mood, you can then start buying the dress, the military equipment, and kit yourself out? We've
managed to put together this year a complete selection from back to your days of humbugs, if you want a sweet, up to a 1940s dress. There's guns, there's coats, there's pictures, there's mementos, there's memorabilia, there's, as you say, there's everything. You know, even down to the stage where we've got people walking around this year that will sit down, our reenactors, but they'll sit down on a table with people sitting by and just talk about the experience they're representing, which is, you might be nice to sit down at a table having a cup of tea, and all of a sudden the guy's dressed up in D-Day uniform and he starts talking about it and saying, I've just had a bad day today on the way through the beach. Maybe a little bit theatrical, maybe come across a little bit English tourist board. It's not that. What it is giving people, they're there for 6 hours a day. In that 6 hours, we've got to try and give them and entertain them right the way through the day. So whether it be with the children, whether it be with the Lindy Hop dancing in the big marquee, with the bands playing, with the dance lessons, the free dance lessons, whether it be Morris dancers going up and down outside. You know, I mean, I think this year we're bringing in Irish dancers and Irish dance. You know, the young girls thing. I mean, they were about in the 1940s, right? Everybody thinks now, oh, they're all modern. It's river dance, but it's not. It's years, you know. And to be honest, if you've ever seen Irish dancers and see the smiles on them girls' faces, that's guaranteed to put a smile on anybody's face.
And it doesn't matter, does it, if you don't know anything about World War II history, because you can come to the event and be guided around the event as well. Yeah,
this year, for the first time ever, we've got what we call blue badges. Basically, if people phone us up in front or just turn up on the day and say they would like to be shown round, the blue badges will take them round to different areas, you know, with an umbrella. Follow me here. No, but they'll take them round and they'll ask them what they're interested in. Oh, you're interested in vehicles, like you said. This is the guy who's got an half track. This is what the half track done. Oh, I'd like to know about the home front. Take them straight across. This is the home front. These are the home guard. These are the guys who've done the police. But any questions, Tom? It's not set down that you have to be 5 minutes at this person and talk to us about war. It's their day. It's their experience. The whole idea is, and it's always been our motto for years, Festival of the 40s is a window to the past.
What ho?
So we can't leave out, of course, the entertainment at the festival. And this year, bigger and better, more of?
Yeah, well, you could say that, yeah. What I've asked this year to do, we've got one or two entertainers that are coming along in the daytime. What we'd like to do is create the wartime experience in some ways. So we've got the standard times where you've got your standard We'll Meet Again girl singer. I think Luna Nightingale's there this year. There's a duo called Back To, which you do a good sing-along medley. There's Lex Icon doing the 1940s swing type stuff. But we also want those to go into the battlefield area, into the camps, you know, and if one of them singing an American song, so get the rest of the troops to sing it a bit Bob Hope-ish, USO-ish, different but catchy. You don't need a mic, you know, and if you're just walking along there on display, bum, 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 oh, we'll meet again, be nice, be different. Yeah, we've got the Jive Bunnies, they're doing dance lessons through the day. We've got, as I say, we've got the Irish dancers. We've got dog displays in the main arena. We've got gun displays in the main arena. We've got, fingers crossed, we've got the horse display, which comes across big side saddle display. And they come as Lord and Lady of the Manor, and they drink the champagne off the table, side saddle, going round. On the Saturday afternoon, we've got the big battle, Germans versus Americans and Brits. But this year, I can guarantee there'll be no winner. It'll be evens the way it's done. That's the fairest way we can do it.
And when you do your battle reenactments, that's the full sight, sound, smells of a battle?
Is it not? Oh, yeah. I mean, luckily enough, we got the guys who do the battle have left English heritage and come to us. The top two guys in the country. I mean, for me, they are. They're both ex-services, so they do it as you would do if you were in the British Army or if you're in the German. So, like, you'll always get on a battle reenactment one guy that thinks he's John Wayne and wants to shoot 50,000 rounds, right? But these guys will turn around and say, if you were in the Second World War, you were given 25 rounds. Yeah. That's what you'll go out and shoot, and that's how the battle's done. Yeah. But I think we've got a big plan this year because I think we're building we're building a Brayley Bridge mock-up and we're going to blow that up. Yeah, that's something special, that. And hopefully with the fly pass we got booked in, if we can time that up so they come across each other, we'll have something special.
Do you sit there and I'm sure you watch the battles? Do you watch the public reaction as well to the battles? And are you kind of relieved when they do get that wow factor of seeing a kind of a real battle unfolding?
Wow factor, without a doubt. I mean, I don't sit there, I eyed up, actually. I don't watch it because remember, them people coming into that event, it's the old thing, put a smile on somebody's face. I was always taught if you could put a smile on somebody's face once a day, you'll have a good day. And we want the smile at the end of it and the big cheer. Yeah. You know, maybe you could turn around and say Buffalo Bill's Wild Circus, the big cheer when all the Chiefs went round. Yeah, we want that, but we also want wow, you know. And it's with the whole thing, the way we've set the plan out with people walking around the battlefield and walking around the encampments. It's just to add to the days of the big wow factor, you know. Unfortunately, we've only got the battle on the Saturday this year, but there might be some skirmishes going on the Sunday. But with the fly pass and everything else, that's the biggest wow of the lot, you know. And I mean, thank goodness for the BBMF, because they come every year for nothing, you know, because of what it is. Although next year they are going to start charging. When you see a Spitfire come over that field, you know, you can do everything you want, but they come, they do 3 passes, and they flick the wings and go. Yeah. We've been lucky, twice they've done us, and twice they've given us 4 and flicked the wings. Yeah. So they're having a good day with us. But it's amazing. Everybody just looks up. Yeah. End of.
Do you get that at your event? It doesn't matter what's going on, everything just stops for the fly past?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. That's it. You might as well have... You could have Glenn Miller, reinvent Glenn Miller and have him stuck there playing with his orchestra, but they won't come when a Spitfire goes across. You know, every time without doubt. I mean, to book a load, you can go to other events and they spend a lot of money on fly pass, but there again, you're looking at a £7 ticket to come to us, and you're looking at 18 to 20 to 22. I mean, look at Twinwood over the years, how it started off at there as, and now, I mean, a dedicated 1940s event, but unfortunately, as it's grew, well, fortunately for them, but as it's grew 50s, 60s, and now touches 70s with his different... But it's got the ideal site. He's got to jump on everybody.
What ho?
So you can make a whole weekend of this festival because you can stay on site. You've got camping and caravanning facilities.
We've done very well over the years. Each year, the caravanners and the weekenders come book earlier and earlier and earlier, which is a good sign of how popular it's getting. You can, in theory... Well, you can, no theory, you can do it. You can book in on from the Thursday night, be on site. You can go catch all the shows through the day, go to all the evening shows, which includes the German beer keller night on the Friday, which I didn't mention before, which is very good, the Glenn Miller dance on the Saturday, and the big tea dance on the Sunday. And we're trying to end up with something special on the Sunday evening. All in with your camping, and whether it be a tent or whether it be a caravan, it's £45 a person. All children under 12, once again, do not pay. Do not pay to come on site. Do not pay to go in any dance. It's, you know, in theory, 2 of you and a family of 4, if the kids are under 12, can have a weekend away, 5 days away for 90 quid. Not 390s, but 190. If not, that'd be very dear.
So really, you really can have a full-on weekend at the festival.
And they can come and have a full-on weekend. And if they want to grab themselves a cup of tea, come up and see us. You know, we're not one of these. We're not an event people where we sit up in the big palace. Yeah. We're an event team that you sit there, and every one of the guys, and they're my friends and my workmates, are approachable, and they listen. The goal, we always say there's not such a thing as a problem. A problem is just a solution opportunity.
And you mentioned a very key word there. It's about a team, isn't it? It's not just you solely that organises an event, because I think that's a massive feat in its own. But there is a team around you.
I can't do it. I've not been able to do it. I mean, some of my workmates I've worked with now for 30 years. Give their weekend up for me. Come all the way from Leeds. Some come up from London. Guys I've gone to school with, guys who I've known through the family for years. Even their families come and their kids come now in 4 years, which is great. But without them, there isn't an event. The one good thing, which I do say, and we have got a reputation of being the friendliest 1940s festival on the circuit.
So how do people find out more about the festival?
The big thing is the website, which they can get, which the website is www. The numbers 1940 SFEST, so that reads 1940s Fest.org. Go onto there. There's videos of previous stuff. You can the last 3 years I think is all on video. You can email us at FortiesFest, which is FORTIES FEST @gmail.com, all in lowercase. Or you can contact us direct on the phone, which is 01733 204353. And there is an answer phone service available on that. And we will speak to you anytime you want. Anything they want to know, please just get in contact with us and we'll do what we can. You can get us on Facebook. Just put Festival of the 40s 2016 in Facebook. You can get us on Twitter, which I think is @40sfest. Get in touch. You know, even if you just want to speak and say, what's this? We'll answer.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And we wish you every success with Festival of the 40s.
What ho?
Well, it's that time in the show and we have to come and say goodbye. Goodbye. That's it. There is no more. Sorry, I couldn't think of anything else to say. I was just transfixed by the thought that my wife...
Wobbly bits. Well, you were transfixed by the thought of wobbly bits. You've been distracted ever since I started talking about that.
I was actually more thinking my wife left me for a weekend away with her chums. And what does she go? She goes to see the full Monty or something like that.
No, it's more cultured than that, my love. It's Mrs. Henderson Presents, and it was in the West End, so you can't get more cultured than that, can you?
Do they sing songs like You Can Leave Your Hat On?
No, they do sing songs though, but a lot more tasteful than You Can Leave Your Hat On.
That's by that Welsh chappie.
I'll let you watch the film, okay?
What film? Any film of my choice? Can we watch Fantasia?
No. Of the film of the play I went to see.
There's a film?
Yes. Did you not know?
No. If it's not made in... I only know films from 1952 backwards. Anything after that are positively modern.
Well, this was set in the 30s. Can that rule not apply?
Look, you're the one that made me watch that Moulin Rouge, and that was weird.
Yeah, that wasn't really your cup of tea, was it? You said, when's he going to start? I don't get this. What are they doing that for? Why are they doing that? Why is she doing that? Well, I don't get that. No, he's singing. You didn't enjoy it, did you? No.
Once I didn't enjoy it, I just didn't understand it. It was weird.
It wasn't weird. It was an arty film. No, you watched Amelie. That was a bit weird. Yeah, see? Touché.
Young Edna doesn't appreciate my love of French culture, and particularly their cheese, because you cannot get better cheese than from the French. French cheese, amazing. In fact, if I remember, you worked with some French artists who stole their cheese.
I didn't steal their cheese. I did work with some French artists, and they brought a massive amount of cheese over with them, all sorts of different styles and flavours. And they left it in our cold store, so me and the chef shared it between us, and I brought them home. And I think out of the 10 I brought home, there was only one that I could just about bear, because they were all a bit stinky and a bit rotten, and that's the worst kind of cheese.
Well, I have this amazing desire now to go and have some Welsh rabbit, or rabbit.
Rabbit.
and because of that, I'm going to say tinkety tonk.
And it's a toodle pip from me.
What ho?